Okay. Now we'll go through the discussion of the TAT. This was the first picture which was shown to you.
Yeah.
Now you tell me the story that you have written. Okay. What does your job, and then we'll try and understand what does it really mean? What does it really mean?
Me. Okay. Should I start?
Yeah, just a second. Yeah, just hold it. Just give me another second. Tell the story.
Raghav, a 22-year adventurous man, once decided to go for camping in a remote jungle. In the morning, he collected all the items required for camping and started his journey. As the sun sets, he decided to take a halt and sets up his camp. As he goes to collect some wood for fire, a storm hits the jungle. He ran towards his tent, which till now was blown away. He then decided to take shelter in a nearby cave, as taking shelter below a tree could be life threatening. He walks as fast as possible towards the tunnel, lights a fire inside, and waits for storm to end. Next day morning, when he wakes up, the storm is over and he reaches his house safely.
Okay. What does it really mean? The story is meant to bring out your personality. Right. Now you talked about you are gone for a camp. Is it alone? You're talking about individual. Did you go alone or did you go with the group? Yeah, that's not confidence. So you seem to be individualist in approach, first and foremost. So, number two, when he went around there for collecting wood, you should have perceived that the storm is expected at that time because you could have seen the nature rather than waiting for it. It means your speed of decision is not right. Number two, after that, what did you do? Once it was blown off, you ran away for for a shelter. Run for a shelter. So it means what? You will run away when the responsibility is given to you. You will not undertake any responsibility, especially in the war scenario, which you are expected to lead the men. Things will not always be usual as you expect. As a result, now you have the tendency to run away from action. Secondly, you have taken shelter in a tunnel and you have waited for the day to come back and you got a fire. From where did you get the fire? Did we carry the wood along with you? How do we get it? Who all were there? So no, nothing really comes out. It's the very first one story of this nature is a clear indicator that neither you have got effective intelligence, that is the use of intelligence to find a solution, nor you have logical reasoning ability. You are unable to organize things. So the first factor one is gone. Number two, you have talked about individual. As a result, now you are not a group man. You would always look after your own interests and system. So hence the cooperation also then came to play. Sense of responsibility, you collect your shopping, everything becomes a sketchy, organizing everything. You collect which are the items required? What all items do you collect? So that's not evident from the system. So everything from initiative, speed of decision, everything there. Yes, only one thing is evident, that you would like to go out for enjoy a trip, go around the system, would like to visit other places. That's all. So it goes totally against you as a system. Okay. Now come back to the next one. This was read the next story. Read the next story. Amrit, read the next story. Hello. Hello. Read the next story.
Hello.
Read the next story.
Yeah. Read the next. Okay. 1 minute. Am I audible?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Ram, a 21-year-old art student, was very fond of playing sitar. One day, his college organized a talent hunt in college. Ram participated in it and was very enthusiastic about it. As he reached home, he did a rigorous thinking for creating a original music and not copying anyone. He prepares the music well and plays in competition. Many of the big musicians who came there applauded for Ram and appreciated his originality. Ram was called by some music director to work under them.
Okay. Now, where will the thought of not copying that come into play? Everything is nice. You wanted to become a musician, you wanted to play a tune, very nice, you composed it, and you went and it was appreciated. But this idea of thought that you will not copy anyone has come from where? It means you have had been in a whatever mood, which either you can plagiarism or you can do fishing, you can call anything. You are in a that nature. It is an indicator of your nature. That indicates your nature. That indicates now there is no need for it. Why do you want to go on for that? There's absolutely no need for it. You could have simply talked about, yes, it being a musical night, being a good sitarist, prepared well, and probably brought one of the latest tunes which consistent which people appreciated. And you also gone, you understand. Again, you have trying to second two story. Second is to again you have been individualistic. I say wherever possible, talk in terms of group. You again sitar alone. Probably you can't afford to do that. You require tabla, you require other group of people. And you can't afford to be doing alone. So again, it is a total indicator you are self-oriented, looking after your own interests rather than talking about the group. So that becomes your selfish attitude. That becomes selfish attitude. Okay. Go to the third one, third story.
Third story.
Read out third story.
Your PPT is not on third. Okay. Ravi, a 24-year village boy who was preparing for UPSC civil services exam, was working on in his farm with his father. One day he watches that even though farmers give their 100%, they are not yielding much, which adversely affect the village development. Seeing this, he decided to do some research on how to increase the yield and came up with some methods. He told the Pradhan to keep the meeting and spread awareness about it. After a few years, the village developed and everyone was yielding much to even sell in market.
Okay. Again, you become generalist as usual. Because totally generalist. Now you were preparing for UPSC. Which examination? What are you? What are your talent? What are your ability? What are your qualification?
Yeah.
Do you do agriculture science or do you do something else? And why should Pradhan listen to you? Why should he listen to you? How did you improve? Okay. What is the sum method? You are just trying to be generalist. You are just talking. Yesterday you are just beating around the bush. And how much yield? How yield has improved? Which is the crop? How do you achieve it? In what way would you contribute? Was it only your moral support or your intellectual support? From where do you get this knowledge? How do you spread this knowledge? So the cause and the coherence is missing. Flow is missing. Your aim, which was there, you wanted to become an UPSC, you're trying for UPSC, that aim has gone. There is nowhere to be seen. So it is just written, you have just written a story for the heck of it, nothing very related to that. Is it a story? Just tell me yourself. Is a description that you are trying to put because you have improved it. How?
Yeah.
Okay, what we are discussing around there, your aim was to join, to appear for UPSC.
Yeah.
You went to the village,
Yeah.
you found that yield of the farmers are not correct. They are putting effort, but they are not getting yield. You
Yeah.
do some research. What research did you do? Not a specific. You are trying to generalist. Again, beating around the bush. How did you improve it? What all things did you do? Everything missing. Who gave the money? Who gave the money for research? How did you help the farmers? Was it for the new seed? Was it because of new variety of chemicals or system that is there? Was it because of what was that soil testing? What was there? What was the option was that is not at all specific.
Okay.
Okay, so it doesn't give you any credit. This was the next scene, isn't it?
Wait. Yes, it was the next thing.
Yeah. Tell me the story.
I was unable to make a story on it.
No, that's the saddest part. They are all given they are all standard. They're supposed to be Jung's original picture. If you are not
Yeah.
given it, it is you have to basically you wanted to avoid. Your idea which will come to you, you have not very right idea about the picture, the story that was coming. So what you really decided, you decided rather than getting mucked up or get enrolled into it, you didn't want to write. So it is called avoidance. You have purposely avoided, not that you didn't get it. You had the idea, you knew that what the idea is going to come back. It's wrong. That's the
Yeah.
reason you have not written the story. And secondly,
Yeah.
all pictures are given only for that reason. Only for that reason. You'll find all sorts of stories. This is original. This is the original from Jung, which had given 12 story, and then it came back to this is the Indian adaptation of the original picture. And it is shown to each candidate and each individual expected to give a story onto this. And looking at the expression that we used to interpret. So if you're not given it, you're purposely avoided it. That's the reason that whatever you did, that you've done, I can do little about it. Okay. Next. Give the next story. This was next one? Yeah.
Yeah, this was the next story.
Yeah.
I have written Raghav was a 25-year-old captain of Indian Army. He was given a holiday a few days before in which he came back to his home. But due to some disturbance in POK, he was being called as soon as possible. He conveys this message to his mother and wife and asks for blessing. His mother starts crying, so he makes her understand that this is what he was trained for and will return home safely. He wins the war by leading greatly and sends a message to her mother that he's fine and has won the war.
Okay. Now, very nice. That the problem comes up here. Are you married? Are you married? Yes or no?
No.
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 So, from where the wife come into play? Very nice. So that indicates what? There's a need for relatedness which you would like to do. Second thing.
Okay.
So that's now what you have done. What is the action you have taken out of 15 qualities? Which qualities emerge? You have just only one. You have just convinced your mother that my going for duty is essential for me. Let me go. That's all. So only action that you have taken is you have joined duty when called upon to join duty immediately. You have convinced your mother. So only one action you've taken, you have convinced them the joining of duty is important. Secondly, it does indicate that you tend to have slightly better relation with your mother.
Yeah.
That's all. Beyond that, so the only one that is relatedness, that is related with your mother. Nothing beyond that, nothing beyond that. So it does not give you any credit. You have taken no action. Which quality? Now, first is effective intelligence. Nothing comes. Every use of intelligence to find a solution. You have not find any solution anywhere. Next is what? Reasoning ability. What reason did you give it? Only because joining my duty is important. That's all. Nothing great. Organizing ability, nothing comes out of here. Yes, social adaptability. You seem to have had a good relationship with your mother. That is what you indicated of. Cooperation. Nothing comes out with a sense of responsibility. Yes, they said you want to join duty on duty because once you called for, you are not hesitating to join. Yes, a bit of sense of responsibility comes into play. Initiative, nothing comes out. Speed of decision, very questionable. Self-confidence, well, nothing comes out from the system. So except for a very small trivial idea, nothing great is coming out. Until you're 15, it is a check of personality. Until these but 15 personality, 15 qualities are shown, it's no use of giving a test. Okay. Read the next one. Yeah.
This also wasn't able to make it.
Again, so now this your two story. Even if you miss out one story, that is sufficient reason for you not being considered.
Yeah.
Again, it's not that you don't want it. They are all supposed to be. They are all again. This is all original story, original picture.
Yes.
And they are all psychological pictures. They are not ordinary pictures which are there. Unfortunately, I picked one which for you. I thought let me start with the original. That is standard. Uma, there's called Mrs. Uma, was the person who internalized this version of the picture which was originally given by other people on there. So they are all original 1964. They are all pictures of 1964. Okay, again you have not written. Again you wanted to avoid because idea that you got it was either you got blocked. Why don't you get the idea? You either get the idea or you get blocked. Why do you get blocked? Probably you had certain instances of, say, ladies being creating a problem. And what sin can come? A lady is trying to know who has widowed something there. They got a great problem. She's suffering from it, and she's gone to the God and wants to do something around that. That's one of the way. Second story, she is only trying to be. She has been thrown off from the family. There is not a good relation with the family, and she has come out of it. That's the normal. She comes into play. Thirdly, there's a problem. She has been thrown away there. She is unable to adjust to the family and she is unable to go. So the problem comes, your own experience on this person system prevents you from thinking about the right plot. You cannot afford to leave the plot. So it is a clear indicator that you have got something great to hide in yourself. You're hiding something. And we are all supposed to find out what the complexes. You remember when we talk about complex, what is hurting you, what is behind you, that is what we want to find out.
Yes.
So if you have one second story you have moved out, there's no question of anyone coming to play. Okay. Here's the next one.
Yeah, this is Lata, 45-year-old mother of one child, was coming back from market. While coming back, she saw her son was indulged in some bad habits for which she decided to take some strict measures. As her son arrives home, she consulted him. Instead of scolding, decided to understand his problem and why he was indulged in some bad habits. She understands all of his problems and makes him understand that she is there to share his problems with, and make him is not this is not good because way of deal with problems. The son apologizes to her and takes the initiative not to do it again.
Okay. Amrit, this is your self story. This is not your self story. Unfortunate. This is the indicator, a clear indicator that you have got something which is great, which is trivial, which your own parents have not liked it. And probably you have, yes, you have taken them. Only one good thing, you have taken this suggestion and you want to improve. That is in the heart of it, you want to improve, want to get over whatever the small problems. That's the happiness. That's the happiness. But it's a clear indicator you got something very great to hide. Your indulgence in not so good activities, maybe friends, maybe what are the socialization that they go about it. So many other activities which are there with the youth of the today are doing, but in it. That's a clear cut indicator you are in it. You are in it. You are able to come out or not, that I do not know. But there is certain clear cut. I have got absolutely no doubt that your what was that? contact groups which are there, they are not very right. Your contact groups which are there, they are in a, say today's world is moving that way. Let's enjoy life that goes on that way. So that is what it is. So it's a clear indicator. I said you are known by the books you read and the friends you keep. So it certainly indicates the environment in which you have grown up. I don't know from what is there, but there's something grossly wrong. Grossly wrong. Yes, you have a tendency, greatness in this system is you've got tendency to take care of it and come out of the pitfall that you have fallen into it. So that's the happiness. That's a great happiness. Secondly, you tend to listen to others' advice, which may be in your interest, maybe in your interest. So that is the great happiness. That is the greatness which is the system. Okay. Any doubt?
Yeah.
Any doubt?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any doubt? I said. Okay.
No doubt, no doubt.
Okay, get ready. The next one.
After this, yesterday my connection was not there, so
Okay.
I haven't seen any picture after this.
You didn't, huh?
I haven't seen any picture after this because connection was not there after
Okay.
this.
Now you tell me.
My connection is
Okay. Now, spontaneously think about a story. Tell me a story. Quick. It doesn't take 10 years to think about it.
Raghav, 24 years old businessman, entrepreneur, was working on a startup. He was also pursuing his job with his establishment. So one night, when the light goes off, he was just sitting in his window and gazing the star and thinking what he can achieve more after setting up a business or getting a success, and how he can be a good entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That's what I can think of now.
Okay. So that's you are a thinker. You like visualize things such as a dreamer. You have become a dreamer. You become a dreamer.
Dreamer.
Yeah. You like to dream. Nothing wrong with that to be dream, but dream will have to be come to a concrete solution. Now that's why, unfortunately, there is nothing wrong what you have talked about it, but what is there, you have not been able to bring it to the logical conclusion. Logical conclusion. Until unless that is brought to logical conclusion, that's of no use. That's of no use. Okay. Read the next one. Think about it quickly. Quick.
Okay. Raghav, a 22-year final year engineering student, was a very curious boy, and he decided to go for a boat ride with his friends. So he convinced his friends to join him, and they went on a boat and on a rowing rowing, where they found a remote jungle, and they were curious about the birds. So they started seeing the new species of birds which were found in that jungle. They also saw many animals, and they took a guide which told them about the birds and the animals they saw. In the evening, they returned back, and next day in school, in his speech, he just told what his experience was.
Okay. Better.
How his experience was.
It's a better story. Better story.
Yeah.
This indicator you are talking in terms of group, but the only one problem which started from the very first story, you have one person who would like to, partying around, going around the people, enjoying life,
Life.
Yeah, that is one party which is very, very clear. But the second good part of this, what you have told is very simple. You would like to explore the nature. You would like to visit the sister on there. Because in the first story also, you have tried to set up a tent, and you wanted to explore the area. It means you do have a sense where you would like to go for picnic, go out for trekking, go around the people around there, seeing the new things area, and visiting area. That's a good thing. There's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. So this is out of all the stories, this is a better story that you have now narrated. What really requires now, you ought to give more and more detail. Aim is not to write a story, but to bring out your 15 qualities. 15 qualities.
Quality.
It is not the storytelling, it is the quality of the story that is more important. Okay, so that's a better part. There's nothing wrong to that extent. Okay, this is the next one.
This I have made. The story goes like this. Raghav, a commander of Indian Navy, was once taking a walk on beach when he watches an adult struggling in sea. He took a floater which was kept in nearby boat and dived into the sea. He swam to the person and tied a float to the drowning man's body. Then he swam with him ashore. Watching this, nearby lifesavers came on the spot. They called an ambulance. Raghav also joined along with him to hospital. Doctor diagnosed the man and said he was fit.
Okay. Now the problem is again better part, but you are it's not. It is description of an event. Description of an event. Your story is not flowing. Story is not flowing. Story is not flowing. Even if you want to make a Raghav, Captain Raghav, who was going walk on the sea, he saw a boat struggling to come out of his boat to capsize. He, being a good swimmer, good sister on there, took nearby boat on the went and saved on. Then he could have started. So it should flow. He wanted to there, but the story may flow. That is missing. Flow is missing.
Yeah.
Okay. Flow is missing. There's no. I said coherence. It has to be flowing from the coherence is missing. First step should lead to the second one. First line should lead to the second line. So he could have only simply talked about it very simple. Have you seen the boat capsizing on there? In order to help on there, being a good swimmer, took the boat nearby, which is standing on there, went on there, saved him on there. He being a good swimmer, gave him first step and all particular activities on there, went on, and ultimately he was given. So that's how the story could have gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Yeah. Where's the next one?
I've not made. I have to make it now.
So that again. So now three important one you have purposely avoided it. They are all things which is bringing a negative thought, and this
No.
Hold it. Don't worry.
Okay.
They're all the negative thought which comes to play, and as a result you have avoided that again.
Yeah.
And secondly, क्या होता है? This is a story which is gave as a child or a grown-up in school, college, whatever time, you would have had many a fight with the people in and around. You may have been successful, may not have been successful. That's a separate issue. So those when you such pictures are shown, it's a tendency to correlate with the past experience you have had.
Yeah.
And since you did not have those past good experience of that instance, where you had a fight with your friends or people who may be there, I do not know. You are unable to make out a story from the system. It's a very simple. It's a simple game. So the problem again is a totally avoidance. You are still trying to hide so many things which you are not very candid about. You are not candid about opening up. Until you open up, your personality defects can never be corrected. Okay. Okay, notwithstanding same, there's the next one. There's a blank one. What have you written?
This was also, I wasn't able to write anything.
Again, you have to imagine any picture. This is the total freedom, you can think of anything. So now, if this is the status now, what really talks about it? You have out of those total 12 stories, 4 stories you have either you avoided it or you didn't want to write.
Yeah.
So it's a clear-cut indicator that it is not going to help you. Aim of anything that at least I conduct a class is not to pass or fail. Pass or fail, anyone can afford to do it. It is to better understand yourself, That is more important.
Yeah.
That is more important. Now you can be rest assured, what we have talked about the total story that has gone through, it does give me certain information about you. And those information are very simple. A person who would like to live life happily, there's no problem. You like to go around, a dreamer who would like to do well in life. Effort, I'm matching effort is nowhere being seen. Your matching effort to achieve your aim is nowhere seen. You're trying to be hiding about your relationship. You have come out with a relationship with your mother, with a very clear, good relationship with your mother. That's okay. But beyond that, you have not yet talked about relating with other people in and around. Nowhere it talks about it. So there's again a doubt into the system. The family is not only one. There is families, totality. Families, total family comes into play. So there's an issue. There's an issue which is available. So when you look at the 15 qualities which are there, effective intelligence till now, I'll give you 8 marks. Because none of the story you are very low. It's very low. Reasoning ability, you are not in a position to give any logic for anything. Just went to, because till now, whatever comes to your way, you have taken it. Not because of logically thinking, even if you have taken probably engineering, what you have gone, it has come your way. It has come your way, you have taken it across.
Yeah.
Nothing, you have not been passionate about achieving what you want to achieve. That passionate, that energy, that what it comes into play, you have not been very passionate about it. So that comes your reasoning ability. You have not been able to setting a goal for yourself, trying to achieve that goal. Goal is setting, goal can be temporal goal, short-term goal, long-term goal, whatever you try there. You have not tried. You are just thinking around there, but you are you from a socio-economic condition, you are very well off. And you cannot afford to. So was a research, the resources which is available to you have been in a position to waste your resources till now. Because nothing very great has come out. Nothing great. I have not talked about other things. Nothing great has come back. So at the organizing ability, you seem to, on surface, superficial, organized. You have never had the tendency to go into details, what I require, what you know. That's all. Okay, superficial. Comes to the social adaptability, probably you would have had friends, but I have got doubts about your friend circle. Friend circles are not appropriate. My sincere advice would be get out of the friend circle. This is the time to discard. This is the time to discard something which is not going to be useful to me. That's a friend circle. Social adaptability I'm talking about. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. Today, life is yours. Development is yours. How well, where you go, it all depends on you. Okay. Next comes to cooperation. That's a cooperation. Cooperation against. Nothing is coming out from the cooperation part of it. You have never talked to a group anywhere. Not talk about any, except for that when you talk to mother aspect, that is no way you talk about cooperation. Then we have talked about, after cooperation, we talked about the sense of responsibility. Nothing, nowhere, sense of responsibility is evident. Nowhere sense of responsibility is evident. Nothing great. And I have not seen you taking any good initiative in anywhere. Because that's what, except for organizing, going for some picnic and all, nothing else is coming out from the system. Okay. Now, then self-confidence, again, there's some amount of that's lacking. You are visualizing things. You expect, you are a dreamer. You are a Dreamer. Dreamer, it is not going to help. Dream is okay. Visualize is okay. Because until I visualize, I cannot afford to achieve. But being a dreamer is happiness, But that has to be matched with the equal amount of effort in the right direction. In the right direction. That is missing. So self-confidence. Speed of decision, nothing very great, nothing very great speed, nothing, right decision, right time. I think nothing has come out. Ability to influence group, again, missing. You have not been able to influence. No person has. You have nowhere to talk to where this comes back to. It's almost you are remaining at 7, 8. That's a lower down the system. Comes now after the last issue, what liveliness. Liveliness is that in spite of the problem in life, you have remained afloat. You have had no problem in life. You're just going across. You have remained afloat. That's the end of it. You're not taken advantage of what were the social economic you have come back from and what you are there. You ought to move ahead. Determination is the perseverance with which you pursue a goal. Again, it is not very, nowhere it is evident. Risk taking, probably you will take risk. You are courageous man, nothing. I have got no doubt what you will take risk whenever it is appropriate, that you will take risk. And you will try and help others. That's also courage part of has come out very well. But when it comes to the stamina, neither the mental stamina nor physical stamina probably comes into play. Physical stamina probably can always improve. I'm not bothered about the physical stamina, but the mental stamina comes to play. Lastly, the insight. How well you know yourself. You have been avoiding to come out. You are trying to hide so many things which you know it's wrong. So unless you vomit out, just vomit out what you have got inside, you will never be clear. Understand, best way to become pure is to give out what is hurting me.
Yeah.
That's the best way. There's nothing. As a human, we would do so many rights, so many wrongs. We are all humans, nothing wrong. So if I have done anything wrong with the system, I must really share with someone and get out of it. That's called emotional offloading. Until you offload, you cannot afford to come back to the system. So inside, you ought to develop your insight. You're still not very sure what is there. Motivation, you just want, again, it is on a mental state motivation. Emotion is not coming out for you very clearly, very clearly. Motivation, you have to have motivation. Doing a service, then energy. The way you speak, the way you write, the way what even word you use, that is what indicates your motivation. That motivation is missing. Motivation is missing. It has to. You have to know. You look at the person. It is not necessary. I become a prime minister. I may be a sweeper, but there also it's the motivation of to sweep well. It is not necessary that we do extremely well, become a prime minister or president or probably IS, IPS, nothing. I may be in a very lowly job, but I should be motivated enough to perform that job itself which gives me satisfaction. So this overall, as a what is story that you have told me, this is what is the overall output that he has got it. Any doubt? Okay.
No doubt.
So I think this is what we have tried to talk about it, and if nothing, then probably we can afford to stop wrong here. Okay.